Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. You wake up in a home that feels like a warm embrace, where every corner whispers tranquility instead of chaos. The morning light streams through your window, playfully illuminating surfaces that are neat, organized, and truly yours. There are no forgotten piles, no heavy burden of disorder, just pure, simple peace. That's the beauty of a clutter-free space, especially as we step into our golden years. Did you know that decluttering can reduce your stress by as much as 20%? It's like giving your spirit a refreshing, deep breath. Today on Healthy Glow Vibes, we're diving into a heartwarming story that will ignite your curiosity. She cleared 40 years of clutter in just 2 days. Here's the simple trick that made all the difference. If you've ever glanced around your home, feeling overwhelmed by years of collected treasures, this one's for you. Stick around, because this journey might just illuminate the way to your own transformation. Meet Evelyn, a vibrant 72-year-old retiree whose laughter could brighten even the cloudiest of days. Her charming suburban cottage, surrounded by blooming lilacs, was once her haven. But over the span of 4 decades, it had morphed into a labyrinth of memories. Boxes filled with old letters, stacks of magazines that promised inspiration, and trinkets from every chapter of her life. The air was tinged with the faint scent of dusty paper, and each step creaked under the weight of things she struggled to part with. Evelyn would sink into her beloved armchair, its fabric soft and worn from countless quiet evenings, gazing at the piles with a heaviness in her heart. "How did I let it get this far?" she'd whisper, her voice barely breaking the stillness. Sound familiar? If you've ever opened a closet and felt that wave of overwhelm, you're definitely not alone. Evelyn's story resonates with so many of us, clinging to the past, those keepsakes that connect us to cherished moments, yet they accumulate, robbing us of our space and serenity. But here's where it gets interesting. One crisp autumn morning, as Evelyn savored her chamomile tea, the steam rising like a gentle promise, she stumbled upon something so simple, it felt almost too good to be true. A method so straightforward, so gentle on the heart. It transformed decluttering into a journey of rediscovery. And just like that, everything changed. What was it? A little trick called the 4-box method, specially adapted for us seniors. 1 box for keeping, 1 for donating, 1 for selling, and 1 for tossing. But Evelyn sprinkled in her own touch, a 5th memory pause box for those items that tug at your heartstrings, allowing you to reflect without feeling rushed. If you've ever found yourself hesitating over a sentimental keepsake, wondering if letting go means losing a part of yourself, this story will hit home. Picture Evelyn in her living room, sunlight pouring through lace curtains, casting a warm glow on the clutter. She arranges her boxes on the well-worn wooden floor, the faint scent of polished oak mingling with the fresh air from an open window. One step at a time, she reassures herself, her voice calm yet gentle. She picks up an old vase, its cool smoothness familiar in her hands, recalling the flowers her late husband used to bring home. A tear forms, but instead of getting lost in uncertainty, she carefully places it in the memory pause box. No rush, no guilt, just a moment to honor the past while making space for the present. If moments like this resonate with you, that quiet longing for a lighter, freer home, you're in the right place. Stay with us, because Evelyn's about to guide us on how to turn overwhelm into opportunity, 1 box at a time. Evelyn's journey begins in her delightful little cottage, nestled on a peaceful suburban street where lilacs bloom and the morning chorus of birds fills the air. At 72, she's a vibrant woman, her smile bright enough to light up any room, and she has a gift for storytelling that draws you in. Yet her home, which once radiated warmth and cherished memories, had gradually morphed into something quite different. Over the span of 40 years, it had turned into a maze of belongings, boxes overflowing with faded photo albums, piles of magazines she promised herself she'd read one day, and shelves brimming with mementos from every phase of her life. The air was tinged with a faint, musty aroma of old paper, and each step she took creaked under the burden of things she found hard to let go. Evelyn would sink into her beloved armchair, its soft, worn fabric embracing her like an old companion, and gaze at the chaos surrounding her. The clutter wasn't just a physical presence, it carried a subtle weight that pressed down on her heart. "How did it get this bad?" she'd murmured to herself, her voice barely breaking the silence of the room. If you've ever stepped into a space and felt your heart drop at the sight of disorder, you can relate to what Evelyn was experiencing. It's that moment when nostalgia clashes with a sense of being overwhelmed, when every object seems to hold a fragment of your story, yet collectively, they feel like an anchor you can't lift. Evelyn's cottage was a treasure trove. There was a porcelain figurine from her first trip abroad, a scarf lovingly knitted by her mother, and letters from friends who had long since departed. Each item ignited a memory, worn and vivid, reminiscent of the smell of freshly baked cookies or the sound of laughter echoing around a dinner table. But those very treasures had built barriers around her, robbing her of the open space she yearned for. She'd pull open a drawer, catch sight of a jumble of old birthday cards, and feel a pang in her heart. "What if I need these someday?" she'd ponder, quickly shutting the drawer as if to close off the question itself. And there she was. You could almost feel her hesitation, right? That moment of standing at a crossroads, yearning for change but unsure of where to start. If you've ever found yourself staring at a closet bursting with clothes or a corner piled high with boxes, you're definitely not alone. Evelyn wasn't just fighting with her stuff, she was grappling with the memories and stories attached to each piece. Maybe you've been in similar shoes, torn between the urge to hold on and the wish to let go, wondering if true freedom is even possible. Her days were spent tiptoeing around the clutter, the soft creak of the floorboards a constant reminder of the chaos disrupting her peace. She'd cradle her tea, the warmth of the mug grounding her, and dream of a home that felt light again, where every corner welcomed calm instead of chaos. But here's where the magic begins. Evelyn wasn't one to remain stuck. One morning, as the sun peeked through her lace curtains, casting soft shadows on the cluttered floor, she made a quiet vow to herself. "Enough," she whispered, her voice steady with determination. Little did she know, that moment marked the beginning of something transformative, a journey that would clear not just her space, but her heart as well. If you've ever felt that gentle nudge toward change, that whisper of possibility, you're right there with Evelyn, ready to embrace whatever comes next. It was one of those crisp autumn mornings when the air felt fresh with endless possibilities. Evelyn found herself cradling a steaming mug of chamomile tea, the gentle honeyed aroma wafting up to greet her. She settled by her kitchen window, where the soft hum of birdsong outside mingled with the peacefulness of her cluttered cottage. Sunlight streamed through the lace curtains, casting golden patches on the chaos of boxes and forgotten treasures surrounding her. As Evelyn's gaze drifted over the piles, her heart felt heavy, yet hopeful, searching for a way to reclaim her space. And then, like a gentle nudge from the universe, she stumbled upon something so simple and clear that it felt like a gift wrapped in sunlight. It was called the 4-box method, a decluttering strategy designed for seniors like her, aimed at bringing order without overwhelming the spirit. But Evelyn, with her intuitive flair, decided to add a 5th box to the mix, a memory pause box that would change everything. Imagine her standing in her living room, the cool wooden floor beneath her feet, the faint scent of polished oak blending with the breeze from an open window. She set up 4 sturdy cardboard boxes, each labeled with a purpose: keep, donate, sell, trash. Next to them, she placed a smaller box,
which she named her memory pause. This was for the items that tugged at her heart, things too precious to rush through, yet too significant to keep without careful thought. "One item at a time, Evelyn," she whispered to herself, her voice soft yet steady, like a friend offering gentle encouragement. She reached for an old vase on a crowded shelf, its smooth ceramic cool against her hands. It was the one her late husband used to fill with wildflowers, their delicate petals vibrant against its muted blue. A memory flickered, his smile, the warmth of summer evenings, and a tear welled in her eyes. Instead of freezing in uncertainty, she gently placed the vase in the memory pause box, allowing herself the grace to revisit it later, free from pressure or guilt.
If you've ever clutched something that feels like a piece of your soul, you can relate to the tug Evelyn experienced. It's one of those moments that makes you stop and think, wondering if letting go means losing a part of who you are. If you're questioning whether this is real, you're not alone. Evelyn was right there with you, navigating that tricky balance between the past and the present. But here's where the magic happened. The 4-box method, with its straightforward approach, transformed chaos into a calming ritual. She glided through her living room, sorting with a serene focus. A pile of old magazines, their pages yellowed but untouched for years, went into the donate box, their familiar scent fading as she released them. A chipped teacup, once a daily comfort, found its new home in the sell box, ready to bring joy to someone else. And the most surprising part, how quickly the room began to breathe again, each choice lifting a weight she hadn't even realized she was carrying. Evelyn's hands moved with intention, the gentle rustle of items finding their new spots like a soft melody. The memory pause box became her anchor, creating space for emotions without letting them take over. If moments like this stir a quiet longing in you, that desire to simplify your own space, you're on the same journey Evelyn took. She wasn't just clearing out clutter, she was reclaiming her freedom, one gentle decision at a time.
By midday on that first transformative day, Evelyn had created a little oasis of calm in her living room. Sunlight poured through the lace curtains, casting a warm glow over the now half-cleared space. The 4-box method, with its simple charm and that special memory pause box, was truly working wonders. Evelyn stood among her neatly organized boxes, the faint scent of polished oak from the floor blending with the crisp autumn air wafting in through an open window. Her keep box contained only the essentials: her beloved knitting needles, their smooth wood a comforting presence that clicked softly during quiet evenings, and a single framed photo of her grandchildren, their laughter captured in a moment of joy. The donate pile had grown tall with clothes that no longer fit, their soft fabrics carefully folded, ready to bring warmth to someone new. She could almost taste the relief, sharp and refreshing, like biting into a crisp apple after a long, heavy day. Each item she sorted felt like a step toward freedom, her home beginning to hum with a lightness she hadn't experienced in years. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, a challenge began to shake shape. Evelyn made her way to the attic, where the air was thick with the musty scent of forgotten treasures, and dust motes danced in the slanted beams of light. She knelt down in front of a stack of boxes, their cardboard edges softened by the passage of time, and stumbled upon a hidden gem: her children's old toys. Plastic figures, their paint chipped from countless adventures, were tangled up with worn storybooks, their pages softly whispering memories of bedtime giggles. Her heart raced, a wave of nostalgia washing over her. What if they want these someday? She mused aloud, her voice barely breaking the silence of the attic. The question lingered in the air, heavy like the dust surrounding her. For a moment, she paused, her fingers gliding over the smooth edge of a toy car, its wheels still echoing with the laughter of her son. If you've ever come across a piece of your past that makes you stop in your tracks, you know that bittersweet ache, the mix of love intertwined with the fear of letting go. And there she was, the memory pause box becoming her lifeline. Instead of feeling pressured to make a decision, she gently tucked the toys inside, allowing herself the freedom to come back to them later with her family. No rush, no guilt, just a quiet promise to honor the past while moving forward. Everyone who experienced that moment would have their breath taken away, that instant when the burden of indecision lifts, replaced by a spark of clarity. Evelyn inhaled deeply, the cool attic air filling her lungs, and a smile began to form on her lips. She made her way back to the living room, her steps feeling lighter, and continued sorting through her things. A stack of old records, their vinyl surfaces glinting in the light, was set aside for sale, destined to bring joy to a collector. A bundle of mismatched linens, soft yet faded, was added to donate, their cottony feel reminding her of cozy nights long gone. Perhaps you found yourself in similar situations, standing at the brink of change, feeling the tug of progress. By the time the sun began to set, casting golden hues across the room, Evelyn's living room transformed from a maze into a canvas, ready for her to fill with peace.
As the sun began to rise on the second day, Evelyn awoke feeling lighter, the morning light streaming through her lace curtains and casting a warm golden glow across her living room, which was finally starting to look less cluttered. The air was fresh, carrying the subtle scent of polished wood mixed with the crisp autumn breeze that wafted in through an open window. Her home was beginning to feel alive again, just like her. Guided by the 4-box method and her memory pause box, she made her way to the kitchen, where counters that had once been buried under a mountain of gadgets and forgotten jars now called out for her attention. The minimalist approach of the method, asking herself, does this spark joy or just take up space, became her soothing mantra. She gently ran her fingers over a chipped mug, its cool ceramic a contrast against her skin, and decided to place it in the donate box, picturing it warming someone else's hands. The sharp scent of old spices, their jars clouded with time, filled the air as she tossed them into the trash, each choice creating more room for tranquility. It felt like shedding a heavy coat, revealing the lightness that had been hidden underneath. Evelyn moved with a steady grace, almost like she was dancing as she rummaged through drawers and shelves. The gentle clinking of glassware, the soft rustle of paper bags, and the occasional chirp of birds outside created a calming melody. As she wiped down the countertop, the cool, smooth surface shone brightly under her cloth, filling her with a quiet sense of pride. Her kitchen, once a chaotic mess, was evolving into a haven where everything had its place. Just when things seemed to be falling into place, a surprise emerged from a forgotten drawer. Hidden beneath a jumble of mismatched utensils, Evelyn discovered a stack of letters, their paper aged and the ink faded, yet still vibrant with memories. These were relics from her younger days, love notes, dreams, and promises penned in the heat of passion. She paused, her breath hitching as she unfolded one, the sound of the crinkling paper echoing in the stillness of the kitchen. "My dearest," it started, her late husband's familiar handwriting whisking her back to nights filled with stars and whispered dreams. If you're questioning whether this is real, Evelyn was too, her heart a mix of joy and bittersweet nostalgia. She sank down onto the cool wooden floor, her legs resting against it as she read one of the letters aloud, her voice quivering. "Life is too short for regrets." The words lingered in the air, a soft reminder from days gone by. Those who experience moments like this never forget. That rush of memories that makes you feel both alive and vulnerable. Evelyn tucked most of the letters into the memory pause box, but a few, worn and less significant, she decided to let go of, feeling their weight lift as she did. If mysteries like these hidden gems resonate with you, then you're on the same journey Evelyn took. She stood up, brushed off her knees, and pressed on. A rusty toaster, its metallic scent sharp in the air, joined the pile for sell. A bag of dried herbs, their aroma long gone, was tossed into the trash. Perhaps you faced similar situations, uncovering fragments of your own story while yearning for a simpler space. By the end of the day, Evelyn's kitchen radiated openness, each cleared surface a testament to her bravery. Her home wasn't just tidier, it was hers once more, brimming with potential.
With the clutter cleared away like fallen leaves in autumn, Evelyn found herself standing in her newly transformed home, a quiet thrill coursing through her. The air felt lighter, infused with the fresh, lemony aroma of the natural cleaners she had used to shine every surface. Her living room and kitchen, once burdened by years of accumulated belongings, now radiated a peaceful simplicity, sunlight dancing across the bare countertops and open floors. The 4-box method, complete with its memory pause box, had done more than just declutter her space. It had opened the door to a new way of living, one that embraced minimalism's gentle promise: less stuff, more tranquility. As she glided a soft cloth over a wooden table, its smooth grain warm beneath her fingers, Evelyn sensed her home breathing in sync with her, each stroke of the cloth wiping away the chaos of years gone by. If you've ever yearned for a space that feels like a deep, refreshing breath, you're right there with her, relishing the calm of a home that's been lovingly reclaimed. Minimalism wasn't merely about empty spaces, it was about intention, about choosing what truly mattered. Evelyn discovered this as she moved through her rooms, her steps light on the now visible rugs, their soft fibers playfully tickling her feet. She dusted the shelves with care, using a microfiber cloth to protect her aging furniture, its wood gleaming like a quiet acknowledgement of her hard work. Lift with your knees, not your back, she reminded herself, a practical tip for seniors that kept her safe as she rearranged a few treasured items: a single vase, a framed photo, a beloved book. The crisp scent of lemon cleaner filled the air, mingling with the delicate sweetness of lilacs wafting through an open window, anchoring her in the moment. Each task felt like a ritual rather than a chore, transforming her home into a sanctuary where every item held a purpose and a story worth cherishing. And just like that, the phone rang, its cheerful trill slicing through the stillness. It was her friend Margaret, her voice warm and curious as she greeted Evelyn. "Evelyn, how did you manage this? Your place looks like a dream," she exclaimed, prompting a soft laugh from Evelyn. "Just some simple boxes and a whole lot of grace," she replied, her tone steady, like a friend sharing a secret over a cup of tea. But Evelyn wasn't the only one in this situation. Margaret opened up about her own battles with clutter, her voice carrying the same yearning Evelyn had once felt. Maybe you found yourself in similar moments, staring at your own rooms, wishing for that same sense of freedom. Evelyn shared her advice: start small, use natural cleaners for a gentle scent, and always take a moment to acknowledge the feelings that come up. Their conversation felt like a warm embrace, connecting them through shared dreams of simpler, lighter lives. As the day went on, Evelyn's home transformed into a serene canvas, each cleared surface a testament to her bravery. She stood in her kitchen, the cool tile beneath her feet, inhaling deeply, the lemony freshness now symbolizing her fresh start. If mysteries like turning chaos into calm resonate with you, Evelyn's journey proves it's achievable, one mindful choice at a time. Her home wasn't just tidy, it was vibrant with purpose, reflecting a heart that was finally free. And as she settled into her armchair, the familiar fabric soft against her skin, she realized that minimalism wasn't about having less, it was about embracing life more fully.
As the sun began to set on that second evening, casting soft pinks and golds across the sky,
Evelyn found herself in the heart of her newly transformed cottage, feeling a quiet sense of triumph swell within her. The clutter that once filled her home like uninvited guests had vanished, leaving behind open spaces that seemed to hum with tranquility. A gentle breeze wafted through the open windows, rustling the lace curtains and mingling with the faint lemony scent of her cleaning efforts. Every corner of her home now felt like an invitation to take a deep breath and savor the calm she had reclaimed. The 4-box method, with its memory pause box, had worked wonders, clearing away not just 40 years of belongings, but also the emotional weight she had been carrying. If you've ever dreamed of a home that wraps you in warmth, you can picture yourself alongside Evelyn, soaking in the glow of a space that has been reborn. She strolled through her rooms, her steps light on the now visible rugs, their fibers whispering beneath her feet. In the living room, sunlight danced across a single vase on a polished table, its simplicity reflecting her newfound love for minimalism. The kitchen, once a chaotic maze of gadgets and forgotten jars, now sparkled with purpose, each countertop clear except for a few treasured items: a teapot, a photo frame, a small bowl for her morning fruit. Evelyn paused by her favorite armchair, its well-worn fabric soft like a cherished memory, and sank into it, cradling a steaming cup of chamomile tea. The sweet, honeyed aroma rose with the steam, anchoring her in this moment of peace. She closed her eyes, listening to the evening breeze, its gentle rustle like a soothing lullaby, and felt a profound calm wash over her, as if the sunset itself was painting her heart in gentle, soothing hues. And there it was, a moment of clarity washed over her, as bright as the sunlight streaming through her windows. Letting go didn't mean losing anything. It was about embracing freedom, creating space, and finding clarity. The memory pause box had been her lifeline, a safe harbor for her emotions that kept them from overwhelming her journey. She recalled the letters she had discovered, their faded ink now carefully stored away for her children to read someday, along with the toys she had set aside for a family chat. Each decision felt gentle and deliberate, like nurturing a garden instead of ripping it apart. If the mysteries of finding peace in your own home resonate with you, Evelyn's story shines as a guiding light, proving that change can happen without chaos. The essence of her journey radiated a powerful truth. Simplicity isn't about giving up, it's about finding freedom. Perhaps you face similar moments, gazing at your own spaces, longing for that same tranquility. Evelyn's approach, the 4-box method paired with her memory pause, showed that even years of clutter could disappear softly, one thoughtful choice at a time. As she savored her tea, feeling its warmth envelop her, she smiled at the thought of others discovering this same peace. Her home, transformed into a sanctuary, whispered a profound truth. Your space mirrors your heart, and both can be lightened with a little care. If this tale ignites a quiet desire to simplify, take a cue from Evelyn. Start small, cherish your memories, and let your home breathe again. Your heart will be grateful, and the peace you uncover will linger, much like the gentle glow of a sunset that never truly fades.